Hi everyone. So today is the first day of our new unit. So we just ended our Earth Sciences unit and we are now moving into Physical Sciences. When I say Physical Sciences, I'm talking about the way that energy, particles, and forces shape the world around us. So we're going to start just by talking about energy and the different types of energy that we can observe. So what is energy? This is one example. But when we talk about energy in science, we're usually talking about one of 5 basic types of energy. This acronym, MELTS, can help us remember what the 5 basic types of energy are. So make sure you're taking notes as we go through the rest of these slides. There's going to be some notes and then some vocabulary also. Okay, so one type of energy is mechanical, one type is electrical, one is light, one is thermal, and the last is sound. And we're going to get more into each of those as we go through this unit. So we're going to start by focusing on thermal energy. Thermal energy is just a fancy way of saying heat energy. So when molecules have a lot of thermal energy, they move faster. And that means when molecules have very little thermal energy, they're moving slower. And then the other important thing to remember about thermal energy is that it transfers or moves from hotter areas to colder areas. So sometimes when we're talking about this, students will say things about cold energy, and there's no such thing as cold energy. When things feel cold, it's just because they are lacking thermal energy. So something can have a lot of thermal energy or very little, and that determines how hot it feels to us. All right, so imagine these are a bunch of molecules. These would be molecules that have a decent amount of thermal energy, right? We can tell that because they are moving really fast. If we started to slow those down, we would know that they have less thermal energy. All right, and then one quick question about what we just defined. So we have this really cold, snowy day over here. I'm recording this on Friday and the temperature is like 10 degrees outside, so that resonates. And then over here we have a warm fire by a sofa. And the question is, there's thermal energy in both of these places. If this fire is just inside of the place where this snowy day is happening, which way is the thermal energy transferring? Is it transferring from this warm room out to the cold outdoors, or is the thermal energy transferring from the cold outdoors into the warm indoors? Okay, so the answer here is from the warm indoors to the cold outdoors, because thermal energy is always transferring from a warm place to a cold place, or a warmer object to a colder object. All right, one last vocabulary word, equilibrium. Go ahead and say that out loud to yourself, equilibrium. So equilibrium means a state of balance, and this can be used in a lot of different contexts. We're going to use it to talk about thermal energy. When two things have reached the same temperature or the same amount of thermal energy, they are at thermal equilibrium, and that just means that they've reached the same temperature, basically. So an example here is if you take a can of soda out of the fridge, it would warm up until it reaches thermal equilibrium with its surroundings. I went out for a walk earlier today, and it felt like my hands reached thermal equilibrium with the air around them, though that's probably not quite true. All right, so that's all of the vocabulary for today. When you finish this video, go ahead and click on the form and answer the questions about this video.